Right. Yeah, Ravindu, no, Ravindu. Like, were you asking because uh, since you can't hear what I'm saying, can mama kata karene නැති නිසා දෙහුවේ පුතේ?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. So, yeah, people, good evening again. And we discuss about the communication, neither. Like we talk about how the simplex, how the half duplex, and how the full duplex has happened. And we draw about that, we draw the simple diagram regarding the communication, right? It's like indicating the source, indicating the destination, the medium. We talked about it. It's going to be like in two types, which is wired or wireless, right? And there are a set of protocols, right? So in your book, they just given three type of things like sender, receiver, and the medium, right? And I told you, apart from that, there will be a message anyway. It's an obvious. And again, the protocols are there, some set of rules which affects the communication, right? Okay, so today we are going to march forward from that. And can anyone confirm, like, we wrote about this simplex, half duplex, and full duplex, right? We did, right? We didn't. Right, okay. So we have to note those things down. And yeah, hold on. Yeah, so what was the part that we were referring to? Yeah, give me a second, people. All right, people, just confirm me whether you are like going through this particular thing, right? Yeah. You have drawn this, right? You have drawn this, right? That's confirmed, right? Yeah, great. So we are going to go from that point onwards, right? So yeah, I think we are at the very end of the second lesson. The network part need to be discussed, and yeah, here we go. Right, so then let's write about these things. We talk about this, neither simplex mode, it's just one direction, or like communication happens only to a one direction, right? So the one who's sending will be the source, and one who's receiving will be the destination, right? I told you the example is the television broadcasting, or like the FM radio broadcasting, right? So they are the particular station can be the Rupavahini, like ITN, Hiru, Sirasa, Derana, like anyone, is broadcasting their data to us, so we are receiving, right? So they send, we receive, that's all, right? We can't send data to their particular station through the television, right? So it's a simplex mode. And half duplex, we talk about the walkie-talkies. So that means half duplex means what? We can communicate both the sides, but one side at a time, right? We can't communicate simultaneously. At the same time, we can't do the communication. One person will communicate to the other side. So then once he stops, the other side will be able to communicate with this side, right? And then we talk about the full duplex, which is the where the communication can happen to the both the directions and at the same time simultaneously, right? So that is what we call full duplex, right? Okay, we are going to write about these things. So people just have the heading data transmission mods. So, and the first subheading simplex mod. And meanwhile, I need to know the situation of your schools, people. Now, what is the lesson that you people are carrying out these days? Like, is there any schools that have started the third lesson, like ending first two and started the third? And I think most of the schools may start with the practical lesson, like the word processing software. How about you people? Yes. Tesando, it's only first lesson, right? Okay. How about the others? Anyone who has, all right, okay, Udamya. Anyone who has started the third lesson, the number systems? Lesson number 7. 7, that means Excel. Yeah, Sasandi, it's Excel, right? Is it Excel that they are carrying out? All right, okay. Sulagdi, it's word processing, right? Okay. Yeah, Sasandi, are you from an international school, like where you start your syllabus like from August? Lyceum. All right, okay. So you people are starting, like you are doing the term from August to August, right? If I'm right, okay, good. Sulagdi, word processing, it's from Sulagdi, right? Sulagdi, are you from an international too, or like the government? So what are the other lessons that you have completed in your school? First and second. Right, okay, right. So without, yeah, so you are doing word processing, right, okay. So yeah, right, Sulabdi. So yeah, so with that data, I'm planning to start the word processing software once we're done with this, right? So let's keep that in mind. Without going for the number systems, let's go for the sixth lesson, the word processing software. All right, people, simplex, you have written the data transmission mode, the first subheading simplex mode. Then this particular sentence, data transmitted from the sender to the receiver only, right? And as well as write the examples as the second point. Write it as 2 points. Right? The first point is data transmitted from the sender to the receiver only. Then the second point, getting printouts, watching television, and listening to the radio can be given as examples. And I need you to draw just this part of the diagram where the sender and receiver at the other end. So arrow from sender to receiver, right? Just draw it. So it's a little sketch. Let me know when you are done, people. So yeah, one is letting me know already. Yes, one is done. How about others? Okay, it seems, yeah. අනික් කට්ටිය ඉක්මන් කරමු. All right, so it seems everyone is done. Okay, so moving forward, the second heading, half duplex mode. Yeah, yes. So we can't omit anything from the paragraph, people. You have to go through it, and this small diagram like we draw in the first one. So half duplex mode, the entire paragraph plus the sketch. Right, one is done. Udamya, you are asking about the description of the figure 2.6 dual walkie-talkies half duplex mod communication. No, dual, no, not actually. We are we are mentioning it on the examples here, like in the explanation, we say browsing internet, get information, and walkie-talkie used by security forces can be given as example. So that will be enough to. Right. How about others? Can we move forward? Okay, moving to the next topic, full duplex mod. So you know the drill. Copy these two little sentences and this sketch. Okay, one is done. How about others? All right. Seems everyone is doing great. Right, so let's move forward. Right, so today we are going to talk about the data transmission media. And මේක අපිට අලුත් topic එකක් නෙවෙයි. This is not new for you. You are using these things, right? Now, the only thing is you may do not know what the word is, right? All right, let me show you a presentation which I have done for for Gurugedara programs, and this was for grade 9s, but it will be very much helpful for you, right? Yeah, just a second. Yes. Yeah. Now, yeah, before I move into this, I'm taking your attention to this particular diagram. Now, transmission media, as I mentioned you before, there are two types. Up here, diagram jati dekak තියෙනවා, wired and wireless. So it says guided and unguided media as well. Wired කියන එකට තවත් refer වෙන word එකක්. Like it's kind of a similar, right? Guided and unguided media. So guided media means the wires, all kinds of wires. Now you can experience the wires. The very famous wire is the network wire, right? ඔගොල්ලෝ දැකලා තියෙනවා නේද? ගෙදර පාවිච්චි වෙන්නේ PO TV hari, dialogue TV hari වගේ දෙයක් නම්. So from the set-top box, you have a network cable to your what you call the TV, as well as to some other places as well, right? Like the to your computer and all these things. ඉස්කෝලට ගියොත් ඔගලන්ගේ computer lab එක network කරලා තියෙන්නේ. It's using the wires, right? So අපි network cable එකක් කියලා commonly refer කරන cable එකක් තියෙනවා, which is actually the twisted pair, right? So under the guided media, there are three types: twisted, coaxial, and fiber. I think you have seen fiber optics. Some of you may have seen the fiber optics as well, if you got a fiber optic connection to your home, right? So nowadays, those are famous, right? Okay, so what's we got here, right? So මේ උඩ ඉන්න components දෙක ගැන ඉස්සරහට අපි කතා කරනවා. Those are called hub and the switch. Hub is the small one, switch is the bigger one, right? So I'll tell you what are the purpose of those, and before that I'm going to take your attention to these three cables. So coaxial cable is the first one, then the twisted pair cable, and the fiber optics. Now you can see the difference. Coaxial cable එක ඔයගලන්ට දකින්න පුළුවන් if you're using a traditional antenna at home, right? Then I can remember I am using one of these wires to have the TV connection at our home when I'm schooling, right? There were no PO TV, dialogue TV, or any dish TV in Sri Lanka on those days, right? It's not so far, but like in end of 90s and the starting of 2000s, right? So we had this antenna, and antenna, the one end of the coaxial cable connects to the antenna, and the other end connects to the TV, the back of the TV. We got the antenna jack. Even today, you can see the antenna jack at the back of your TVs, right? So it is something strong, something has the strength on it, and it can communicate the data for a greater distance, right? And comparing to the twisted pair, the coaxial cables are very costly, like not very costly, but expensive, right? So the twisted pair cables are the cheapest in the market. Coaxial, the next cheapest, or like expensive than the twisted pair, but cheaper than the fiber optics. And fiber optics are the the most expensive cable that you can find on the market, right? So how these things work and what are the jacks over here and there, so I'll show you those things, right? So when you are connecting the network cable, like the general network cable that we are referring to is what we call the twisted pair. අපි ඔය twisted pair cable එකට තමයි network cable එක කියලා කියන්නේ. But generally all these things are network cables, right? But අපිට අර generally අපේ labs වල අපිට දකින්න හම්බෙන්නේ මේක නිසා we generally refer this as a network cable. So you can create a network cable at like in any length you want, right? But there is a limitation to that length, because there is a limit for a cable to take the data from one end to the other end, right? මොකද data අරගෙන යනකොට එයාගේ strength එක ටික අඩු වෙනවා. right? ඒ කියන්නේ media එකේ තියෙන resistance වලට ප්‍රතිරෝධය කියලා අපි කියනවා, right? ඒකට අදාළව එයාගේ quality එක එන්න අඩු වෙනවා. දැන් when I am talking to some people who are in front of me, the one who is very near to me can receive me clearly, but if someone is a little bit far from me, he may hear me like little less than the front people, right? Because the strength of my analog wave, the voice, has the highest strength when it is like moving out from my mouth. මගේ කටින් එළියට එනකොට තමයි මගේ හඬට හොඳම ශක්තිය තියෙන්නේ. Then like with the distance, the strength of the voice getting weakening, right? ඒකයි පිටිපස්සෙ ඉන්න ඇයට ටිකක් අඩුවෙන් නැත්නම් හිමින් ඇහෙන්නේ. So same happens with the data through the media, right? When the data like leave the source device, it has the highest strength, and with the distance over the media, its strength is going to be lower, right? So we can create this, we can connect this network cables or the twisted pair cable into these ports, right? So these network ports, some are on board and some we can take using a what we call the network interface card, right? Or an NIC, right? So we take the network cable and we connect the end of those network cables into these ports. So this port is called the RJ45 port, or generally the network port. And that RJ45 is something like this, right? ඔගොල්ලෝ ඉස්කෝලේ ගියාම නැත්නම් ගෙදරදිත් පුළුවන් හොයාගන්න. ඔයගලන්ට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඔය PO TV හරි dialog TV හරි පාවිච්චි කරන අයට ඔය network cable එකක් free හම්බෙනවා connection එක දෙනකොට. Right? Set top box එක පිටිපස්ස පොඩ්ඩක් check කරලා බලන්න. You may probably find that. Right? So this is called the RJ45 jack, or simply RJ45, right? So coaxial has a different connector, which is something circular, and fiber optics has a different connector, which is the smallest connector that we can use, and the port that it is going to connect is differs, right? And why these cables, like how is the cable's inner look? So this is how it when you peel out the outer cover, you can see the inside. Now you can see why it is called twisted pair. මෙයාට twisted pair කියලා කියන්නේ හේතුව it has pair of wires which is being twisted with each other, right? Likewise, there are 8 wires, right? So those 8 wires are connecting to the ends of RJ45 jack, right? එයාගේ ඇතුලේ අර පාට අපිට පේන්නේ එහෙම connect කරපු ඒ pairs 4 නිසා, right? And coaxial cable, it is a little bit different. It has this copper conductor, තඹ කම්බියක් තියෙනවා, at the middle of the wire, and it is protected or like covered by a insulator. අපි කියන්නේ විද්‍යුත් පරිවාරකයක් කියලා විදුලියට ගමන් කරන්න බැරි ද්‍රව්‍යයක්, rigiform, kind of rigiform. So it is going around this metal conductor, and like around the insulator you can find again a metal mesh, right? කම්බි වලින් හදලා තියෙන පොඩි දැලක් දකින්න පුළුවන්. So then around that mesh you got a thick plastic cover, we call it the coat, right? So it is a very thick plastic cover. ඒක ලේසියට damage වෙන්නේ නැහැ අපි මොකක් හරි sharp blade එකකින් වගේ එකකින් කැපුවොත් ඇරෙන්න. or like යාර උණු වෙන තරමින් යාට දරා ගන්න බැරි ප්‍රමාණයේ communication එකක් එයා ඇතුලෙන් වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් it is a very durable one. And when it comes to the fiber optics, now this small glass tube is the one which helps to communicate the data inside it, right? එතකොට මෙයාගේ ඇතුලේ පුංචි හීනි බටයක්, right? ඒක හිතා ගන්න බැරි තරම් හීනි glass tube එකක් තියෙන්නේ. So inside the glass tube the light is used to communicate the data, right? So that is why fiber optic cable is giving you that speed. It is the fastest communication method, right? Since it is using the the light as its communication medium, right? So මේ කියන්නේ media එක උදව් කරන්නේ අර light එක bounce වෙවි ඇතුලින් යන්න. එයා ගොඩක් වෙලාවට යන්නේ පරාවර්තනයේ විදිහට, right? And around that there is a coat again, something working as the insulator, right? ඒක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට plaster of Paris වලින් තමයි හදන්නේ, right? එතකොට අර glass tube එක වට කරලා there is a plaster of Paris cylinder, right? මේ ash color වලින් මෙතන පේන්න තියෙන එක. So around that there is a again there is a mesh, right? දැලක් තියෙනවා, කම්බි දැලක්. එයාව cover කරලා තමයි coat එක තියෙන්නේ, right? So that is how it happens, right? And yeah, that's the story, right? So if I move to your book says the same thing, and there is one additional thing regarding this UTP and STP regarding the twisted pair. Let's see what it is, right? So guided one, the twisted pairs are there, and this UTP stands for unshielded twisted pair. Unshielded means now these pairs can be shielded using a mesh kind of a structure, or maybe using aluminium type paper or lead type paper. අපි ඊයන් කොලයක් කියලා කියන්නේ. අන්න ඒ වගේ paper එකකින් යාව cover වෙන්න පුළුවන්. It is to help to the wire to do a smooth data communication, right? අපි කියනවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් shield එකක් තියෙනකොට external interference are getting low, right? So shielded twisted pair and unshielded twisted pair, that is why it is called UTP and STP. So when you visit to a market which has these network cables, if you are going to purchase particular twisted pair cable, they may ask, what do you want, a UTP or a STP, right? So Tesandu, I'll come to that. Strength එක වැඩි මෙක් කෙනාගේ පැත්ත ගත්තොත්, right? Then when you compare the UTP and STP, අපිට strength එකම කියලා කතා කරන්න බෑ Tesandu. We can talk in the terms of the quality of communication, right? So quality, UTP has the lowest quality and the lowest range of communication. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් UTP එකක් අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ 100 meters වගේ communicate කරගන්න, right? So twisted pair, generally we use it maximum for 100 meters. Other than that, your signal is going to get weaker and it won't supply you a good communication, right? Quality communication, right? But when it comes to the coaxial, it gives you a higher range, right? Durability, yes, durability පැත්තෙන් ගත්තොත් I think everything is going to be very durable because the protection, the internal structure in these cables are something very same. නේද? ඒගොල්ලෝ protection දීලා තියෙන විදිහ there has a metal conductors and it has a cover. Then it is surrounded by a shield. Then it is surrounded by again a coat. Right? ඒක නිසා ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට durability පැත්තෙන් ගත්තොත් දෙපැත්තම හොඳයි. හැබැයි මේ outer coat එකේ thickness එන්න වැඩි වෙනවා from the twisted pair to the fiber optics. එහෙම බැලුවොත් durability කල් පැවැත්ම පැත්තෙන් බැලුවොත් the fiber optics has the maximum durability. Then the coaxial, the lowest durability is with the twisted pair. එහෙම කියලා අපිට ලොකු වෙනසක් එන්නේ නැහැ. It's again the durability depends on how we use that. දැන් ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට network එකක් play කරාම network engineers ලා දෙන advice එකක් තමයි please don't touch the network. මේ network cable එක ගලව එහෙට මෙහෙට කර එහෙම වැඩ කරන්න බලන්න එපා කියලා. මොකද සමහර වෙලාවට from the external forces කියන්නේ අපි එහෙට මෙහෙට කරනකොට නැවෙනකොට it's try to break, right? Specifically when it comes to the fiber optics, since it is having a very tiny glass tube, ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ අල්ලන්නවත් එපා. ඒක කොහෙටවත් කාටවත් රීච් වෙන්නේ නැති විදිහකට බොහොම රිලැක්ස් විදිහට කේබල් එක තියෙන්න අරින්න කියලා. Right? මොකද fiber optic cables, like unlike twisted pair and coaxial, we can't bend it, or like we can't have steep turns. නේද? හරියටම අංශක 90ට වගේ නවන්න එහෙම කරන්න බෑ when it comes to the fiber optics. Even for the other cables, the advice is same. Don't try to bend it, just keep it as a very relaxed one. Right? ඒකයි network cable එක උවමනාවට වඩා දිග වැඩි කරන්නෙත් නැහැ. උවමනාවට වඩා කොට කරන්නෙත් නැහැ. කොට කරාම කොහොමත් ගැටලු වෙනවා because it's not like lengthy enough to have the communication. But උවමනාවට වඩා දිග කරාමත් ඒක සමහරලාට රැලි ගහිලා තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් අපිට ඔතලා තියන්න වෙන්න පුළුවන්. It will affect. Right? So ඒක නිසා සාමාන්‍ය network engineers ලා ලේ කරනකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ හරියටම මැනලා එහෙම ලොකු ගැටලු ඇති නොවෙන්න තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ network එක arrange කරන්නේ. Right? So you can see the difference of a UTP and STP, neither shielded twisted pair and shielded twisted pair. Yeah, there's no problem. Right? So remember why UTP is said, why STP is said. Right? So coaxial, as I told you, it is used for TV antennas and more oftenly nowadays for CCTV connections, right? Closed circuit televisions, right? So with the camera, from the camera to the DVR, DVR කියලා කියන්නේ cameras ටික ඇවිල්ලා connect වෙන තැන. So to that you use a coaxial cable, right? And fiber optics again, it is like this. So my glass tube එක තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ නිල් පාටින් මේ ඉරිරි වගේ ඇදලා තියෙන්නේ. So it is given a very big protective, right? And it is having the fastest data communication when we are comparing these three cables, right? Okay, so before we move to the unguided media, let's write down some things about this, right? Okay, so yeah, start from data transmission media, right? The heading, right? And yeah, I'm giving you a simple homework, which is this diagram. You have to draw it at home. I hope everyone have their textbooks with you, right? නැත්නම් ඔගොල්ලෝ refer කරන්න soft copy එක හරි refer කරන්න, right? So otherwise it will take a lot of time. So keep the space to draw this diagram, and it's figure 2.62. It's better you write the figure number and the page number of the textbook. So it's figure 2.62 in page 55, right? So keep the space, enough space to draw this. And then let's move to the guided media, right? Yeah, so regarding the guided wired, like with these two words, it's better you write the media word as well, guided media, right? Guided/wired media, right? So Yeah. So it's better you have this sentence. Twisted pair, and first only the first sentence. Go with only the first sentence, right? And for the next one, I'll give you a little sketch so you can remember it easily. Right? So just the first sentence. So guided and wired media, we write this. Then write the twisted pair, and you may draw this diagram. Right? So twisted pair. So we got two categories, which is shielded twisted pair, which we call STP, and unshielded twisted pair, which we call UTP. Right? So and regarding the qualities of these, yeah, yeah, let's do it like this. Under the shielded twisted pair, flexible, and yes, cheaper than STP, short distance communication in brackets 100 meters max, and low security. And regarding the STP, flexibility is there, flexible, expensive than UTP. Still, it is short distance communication. Hundred meters max, and it has high security. Right now, if you can find some pictures, you can definitely find the pictures from the internet, right? Or from some magazines and all these things. Just have a fine picture regarding the STP and UTP, right? Surf karo, search karo, you can find many different pictures, right? So make it beautiful, right? Make it attractive. You're not, right? ඔයගලන්ටම පොත බලන්න ආස හිතෙනවා එතකොට, right? So complete it, then we'll go for the question. Right, one is done. How about others? Right. So I'm going to move to the other side. Is there anyone still writing? Right. So the next one is the coaxial cable. So the next subheading, coaxial cable. Okay, what we are going to write. Yeah, it's better you go with the entire thing, right? Because it's explains it well, right? So under the coaxial cable, just write down the entire paragraph. Right. One is done. How about others? Right, people. So regarding the twisted pair, sorry, regarding the fiber optics cable, let's write these things. Fiber optic cables, yeah. Yeah, you can, yeah, you can omit the very first line, but rest you should read, right? right, one is done. Dinaka, you always finish in for the first place. Good, good, keep it up though. Right, it seems everyone is doing great. So we are moving to the unguided or the wireless media. Is there anyone still finishing these things? Yeah, I think everyone is done. All right, regarding the unguided media paper, we have radio waves, we have microwaves, and we have infrared, right? Let me see. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So this is infrared, and you know that you got the device, very famous device in your home, which contains infrared. It's the TV remote, right? So the TV remote is a infrared transmitter. එයා තමයි infrared එක යවන කෙනා, source එක transmit කරන කෙනා, බෙදලා දෙන කෙනා. And your TV is having an infrared receiver, right? So yeah, what happening? Yes. Yeah, so when we press the a button on the remote, so it will communicate the things, and regarding that, the TV is on and particular channels and all these options will work, right? So there is a very nice thing about the infrared. කවුරු හරි check කරලා බලලා තියෙනවද මේ TV එක ඔයාලා ඉස්සරහා ඉන්නකොට පිටිපස්සට TV remote එක තියලා ඔයාගේ විරුද්ධ පැත්තට TV remote එක on කරාම TV එක on වෙනවද කියලා. හැබැයි ඒ වෙලේ වෙන්නේ ඔයාගේ පිටිපස්සේ බාධකයක් තියෙනවා. ලිච්චයක් හරි මොකක් හරි තියෙනවා. Infrared has that jumping over or like the bouncing effect, right? So yeah, but if you put your hand in front of your TV remote and press the buttons, it won't work. That means the infrareds are not going through a hurdle or like a barrier, right? But it will bounce back, right? And that's how the infrared works. And not only in the TV remotes, there are many places that the infrared is working. Like even there are keyboards and mouse, specifically keyboards, which are indicating or which are communicating using the infrared technology. Especially when it comes to the gaming type of keyboards, අපි අර ගොඩක් වෙලාවට gaming consoles වල අපි play කරන්නේ නේද? ඔය joystick එක පාවිච්චි කරලා පොඩි keyboard එක පාවිච්චි කරලා අර ලොකු කියන්නේ gaming set වල ඔය PS2 PlayStation වල වගේ අපිට then එතකොට that remote or the joystick is communicating with infrared, right? And even in phones back in my days in 2003s 4s in the Bluetooth and the calling, it was the infrared was the communication method, the easiest communication method. හැබැයි infrared වලින් data communicate කරනකොට phone දෙක ළඟටම කරලා තියන්න. Otherwise the communication channel is disturbed, right? Bluetooth එහෙම නෙමෙයි, Bluetooth toy cars, yes there's some toy cars, right? Remote එක signal කරන්නේ infrared එකකින්, right? So those kind of things are there, right? And the technology which emerged after the infrared is the Bluetooth. Now Bluetooth is using a radio wave, right? Or like in the common words we call it electromagnetic wave, vidyut chumbaka tarangaya kiyala අපි කියනවා, right? And using these electromagnetic waves, there are many different signals that we are using, like Bluetooth, right? So Bluetooth is Bluetooth has the ability to connect with lots of devices, right? And it can create a network as well. කීප දෙනෙක් එකතු කරලා network එකක් වුණත් හදාගන්න පුළුවන්, right? And it is supported for many devices like TVs, laptops, speakers, printers, like mobile phones and all these things, right? So it is another very beautiful technology that we are using, right? And the Wi-Fi. Now, Wi-Fi is stands for wireless fidelity, right? So that is why Wi-Fi is there, right? So Wi-Fi, to have the Wi-Fi signals, you should have a Wi-Fi generator. That's something like your router, right? Wi-Fi generate kalla communicate karana puluwan kenek, right? So through that we can communicate, or we can connect lots of devices together. And again, one of the most famous method that we use to create a small network. දැන් ඔයගලගේ ගෙදර router එකට කීප දෙනෙකුට connect වෙලා you can send and receive the data, right? So it's the communicating. Again, if you are communicating between some devices, we call it a network, right? මොකද ඔයගොල්ලෝ හැමෝම interconnected, right? අපි network එක කරන්නේත් ඒකයි. Devices කීපයක් එකට connect කරගන්න එක අපි බලන්නේ, right? To have the communication, right? And yes, there's another hotspot. It is one of the way that we use the Wi-Fi. And the traditional radio wave, or the start of the electromagnetic waves to the communication, it basically happens with the what we call the TVs and radios, right? Make it a radio taranga නැත්නම් radio waves කියලා කියන්න. The main reason is this wave has majorly, or like initially, used to communicate the message over the radios, right? For some military purposes as well as for the entertainment purposes, they use that. So to do the communication, the base station should have this communicate transmission tower, right? A transmission tower එක ගොඩක් උස එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. මොකද ඉහළින්ම තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ රේඩියෝ වේව් එක transmit කරන්නේ. So ඒක තමයි ඔය ගොඩක් towers ගොඩක් උඩට වෙන්න හයි කරලා තියෙන්නේ. right? එතකොට ලොකු coverage එකක් අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන්, right? So, and to capture the radio wave, we need an antenna, right? So now when we are tuning means නේද ඔයගොල්ලෝ රේඩියෝ එක tune කරලා තියෙනවනේ නේද? ඔයගොල්ලෝ FM එක අල්ලනකොට you take it 93.6, 99.9 ඔය විදිහට ඔයගොල්ලෝ අරගන්නවනේ. So that means you are telling the antenna, okay, you search whether the radio waves in this frequency is around you. ඉන්නවනම් අල්ලගන්න, right? Because දැන් හැමෝම දෙන radio wave එක මේ atmosphere එකේ තියෙනවා, right? හැම channel එකකින් මේවල තියෙන radio wave එක මේ ආවට පරිසරයේ ආවට වාතයේ තියෙනවා. So antenna එකට කියලා තිබ්බම which one ඒගොල්ලෝ එවන්නේ එක එක frequencies වලින්, right? ඒව තමයි ඔය ගොඩක් වෙලාට FM radios market කරන්නේ 99.9 කියලා, 96.3, 94.2, a lot of things. Those are the frequency of those radio waves. So antenna එකට කියලා තිබ්බම මෙන්න මේ frequency එකකින් ඉන්න කෙනා අල්ලගන්න කියලා. So it receives and take it to the radio circuit and convert it into the voice or the videos, right? So that is the story of the radio waves, right? And here I haven't talked about the microwaves. I'm going to go for that particular wave from your textbook. So there are two types of microwaves, right? Which are which use for satellite communication, and which use to terrestrial communication. Terrestrial communication කියලා කියන්නේ මේ කියන්නේ අපේ පොළවේ ඉඳලාම පොළවේ තවරන්න, right? So the advantage of the microwave is it is a very strong communication signal, or like a very strong signal comparing to electromagnetic waves or the radio waves, right? So that gives the microwaves the ability to transmit to a greater distance than සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මුහුදේ තියෙනකොට නැවක් මොන හරි දෙයක් නේද? සබ්මැරින් එකක්, even සබ්මැරින් එකක්, right? අපි මයික්‍රෝවේව්ස් පාවිච්චි කරලා තමයි කමියුනිකේෂන් කරගන්නේ, because අපිට මුහුදේ තැන් වල සෙටල් කරන්න බැහැනේ. hello, right? මුහුද සෙටල් කරන්න බැරනේ අපිට transmission towers. So for that purpose we use microwaves, right? But the disadvantage or the obstacle or the challenge is microwaves is a very costly way of communicating. All right, people, just a second. Yes, so using the microwaves, we can transmit the data for a greater distance. නේද? චන්ද්‍රිකාවක් එක්ක satellite එකක් එක්ක communicate කරන්න we use the microwaves. So it's the signal is sent to the outer space, right? Then dial-up TV connection එක වැඩ කරන්නේ with the microwaves. They just give you a dish kind of an antenna to fix it on your home and to direct it to the sky, right? So from the dial-up stations, they just broadcast their microwave to their satellite, and from that satellite, it is being given to the receivers which we connect in our houses, right? So there are two ways. So remember, terrestrial and the what we call the satellite, right? So like here in the explanation, they have said how far it is being sent. See, so which is positioned in the sky about 36,000 kilometers. They are talking about the satellite. So 36,000 kilometers. Think about the distance. ඒ දුරකට මයික්‍රෝවේව් එක කමියුනිකේට් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Then ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඔය like to have the communication from the aeroplane, they use the satellite communication, right? So it's on the sky. So it is the way that you are going to communicate with, right? Okay, so that is regarding the unguided media, right? Yeah, shall we take down the notes, people? Right, you can stay for another 15 minutes, right, since we start in about 2:45. If anyone need to leave for some other class, so you can go, that doesn't matter, but I prefer you stay, right? All right, let's take this down quickly. So unguided or wireless media, right? And it's better you write down this explanation as well. And regarding the radio waves, have the subheading and copy this as well. For microwaves, I'll tell you what to do. Right. One is done. And how about others? Okay, two are done. Right, three are done. So it seems everyone is getting over. Yeah, great. So regarding the microwaves, people, yeah, I'll tell you what to be written. So please write the subheading microwaves, or you can put number 2 and go microwaves. Yes, let's see what to be written. Yeah, so we'll do it like this. I'll draw you a sketch, right? So then you can draw that. So you can start drawing with me, right? So microwaves. There are two types. Oh, terrestrial. People, just a second. I need to confirm the spellings of the terrestrial. Terrestrial. Yeah, terrestrial. Yes, terrestrial. So RRES, terrestrial. Yeah, terrestrial. I'm sorry, මම terrestrial කියලා කියන්නේ පුරුදු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. It's terrestrial, right? Terrestrial and satellite. Right, let me check the satellite. Satellite, yes. We need double S. Satellite. Right, and I'll draw you a small sketch so you can understand how it happens, right? So this is the globe, the surface, Earth's surface, right? And here you are going to find one transmitter. And this is another transmitter, right? So the signal goes, let's say, from here to here, right? So this is called the transmission center. Yeah, not the center, right? Let's say it's transmitter. And this is the receiver, right? And for satellite communication, right? So let's draw it like this. This is the globe. Let's draw it a little bit down. And can have the broadcasting one. And let's say this is a house and it has a small receiver. And this is what you call, yeah, you have to figure out that this is the best satellite in the world, right? So yeah, I'm going to name it. So this is the transmitting center. So it transmit the data and it transmit to the earth, right? So let's say this has the receiving station, or the let's say it's just receiving, and this is the satellite. Right, so you can draw those two. Right, one is done. How about others? Okay, let me write the qualities of microwaves with the right of it, and let's say travels in a linear mode, right? So I'm going to add some things. ඔයගලන්ට මේක ලේසි පැත්තකට ඩිරෙක්ට් කරලා ලියා ගන්න, no problem. Travels in a linear mode. can be communicated to greater distance. $36,000 kilometers used in internet communication. Right, so that will sum up the microwaves. Right, so with that we can end our session. So we are going to write about the infrared by next week, right? So please have this. Once you're done with it, you can disconnect. For infrared පොඩ්ඩයි තියෙන්නේ නේද? ඒක copy කරගන්න පුතේ ගෙදරදී. Like it's just a one sentence in the description, right? So just copy it down. So we are done with the communication mods, right? So please copy these three things so you can disconnect. So you have two homeworks. You have to draw that diagram regarding the the media, and the very last point regarding the infrared. So then you are done, right? So once you are done, you can disconnect. Thank you very much for the session, people, right, for participating, and I'll wish you a very nice weekend. And people, one one very important thing. Now I have this time constraint. මට පොඩ්ඩක් time එක ඉස්සරහට shift කරන්න වෙලා තියෙනවා පුතේ. 2023 අයියලක් කළ A levels පටන් ගත්ත නිසා. Now I'm asking you, is it okay for you to shift this class by 1 hour? ඒ කියන්නේ දෙකට නෙවෙයි අපි 3ට පටන් ගන්න ඉන්නේ. Is that okay? Like, does anyone got any like any barriers regarding that? තියෙනවා නම් මට චුට්ටක් notify කරන්න, right? I will put a message to the group as well, right? මට පොඩ්ඩක් ඉස්සරහට යන්න වෙනවා. එතකොට අපි 3 to 4:30 කියන time slot එකේ තමයි ඉස්සරහට හම්බෙන්නේ. I will confirm it, right? But I have to shift it, otherwise I'm stuck with the yeah, it's only the class, only the online class. Oh my god, Dami, you got a class at 4 o'clock. 2:30 to 4. Yeah. Udamya, like is it okay for you to start the class around 2:30 දුව? හරියටම 2:30 පටන් අරන් 4 o'clock ම ඉවර වුණොත් ගැටලුවක් නැද්ද? Like or like if you can take some 15 minutes break from that class, again, or 4:15 වලට connect වෙන්න විදියට මට කියන්නේ මම 2:30 වලට class එක ඉවර කරලා තමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පටන් ගන්න ඕනේ පුතේ. So it will be like 2:45 when I'm starting it. So 2:45 to 4:15. Is that okay? What is the class do? Is it regarding maths, science, or something? Right, okay. So yeah, like I'll try my best to adjust the things to not to affect you, but if you can just adjust the class, I don't know whether you can do that, but if you have a chance to have 15 minutes, so like it will be very much easier for me to like start it 2:45, then end it by 4:15. Just see, right? So it will be very much helpful for me, right? Or else we'll do the best we can, right? All right, people. So if you are done, you can disconnect, and I'll confirm when I'm going to meet you by next week, right? So have a nice weekend, people, right? Enjoy and keep it up. right? So thank you very much again.